At the beginning of the story, we are shown a family living their lives happily. But they did not know that just a few minutes later, something was going to happen to them that is scary even to think about. When the husband and wife were busy talking, suddenly they started hearing the sounds of people screaming and shouting from outside. When they both went out of the house, they saw a commotion among the people outside. People were leaving their homes and running away as if something big was about to happen. Jason and Beth saw that their neighbors were also panic-stricken and emptying their house quickly. Jason asked the neighbor what the reason was and why they were leaving their house. But they were in such a hurry that they didn't answer Jason. Meanwhile, they saw the neighbor's son also packing his things. When Jason asked the child where they were going, the child replied that his father's friend is a government officer who said that a very poisonous virus has spread which turns a normal human into a monster. But just then, the child's mother came and grabbed him to take him away. Jason asked her what virus the child was talking about. The child's mother said this isn't the time to explain. Take your wife and daughter and get as far away from this city as possible. Hearing this, Jason and Beth got very scared. After that, without thinking, Jason put his family in the car and started taking them out of the city. But on the way, they saw that the neighbors who were running away were returning. Seeing this, they felt even more strange. Moving forward, these people get stuck in traffic. When Jason and his family got out of the car, they saw that the police had closed the only road leading out of the city. Helicopters started patrolling the sky here and there. People were being told that a poisonous virus had spread in the city, and they should return home quickly. Hearing this, Jason found it strange that if a virus had spread in the city, why were people being told to stay in the city instead of being taken out? Suddenly, a large rock from a nearby mountain fell on their car. Seeing this, they got very scared. The mountain started shaking, and then 2 military fighter jets came out from behind the mountain and headed towards the city. Those 2 fighter jets started raining bombs on the entire city, turning the whole city into ashes. Jason's wife, Beth, immediately understood that if they had listened to the police and returned home, their fate would have been very bad. After that, the fighter jets started moving towards the people on the road. Seeing this, panic spread among everyone. Now everyone understood that the government wanted to kill them. Everyone started running here and there to save their lives. But Jason and Beth realized that no matter where they ran, the fighter jets would kill them. Just then, Beth looked back and saw a school on the mountain and felt that place would be better for hiding. After which, Jason took Beth and Zoe and started climbing the mountain towards the school. Behind them, fighter jets started dropping bombs on the people on the bridge. The 3 of them ran fast and reached the school. Luckily, they found a tunnel there, and just a few seconds before a bomb explosion, they quickly entered the tunnel. As soon as the bunker door closed, there was a loud explosion above. But luckily, these people were under the bunker, and their lives were saved. But the surprising thing for them was, what kind of virus was this that the government had to kill all the people in the city? They couldn't understand anything. They only knew that if they wanted to stay alive, they had to live quietly in the bunker. But the worrying thing for them was how long they would live here and what they would do for food and drink to fill their stomachs. The good thing was that there was a lot of expired food kept there, which could last a long time for 3 people. Jason's wife, Beth, was very worried. She started thinking about her daughter, Zoe. What would they do if she got sick? And while closing the door, Beth's hand also got hurt, causing a deep injury. Both of them were also worried that the poisonous virus might have attacked their bodies too. But this was not the time to think about that. They had to make this bunker safe now so that no one could open the bunker door from above. Jason tightly closed the bunker door with an iron chain and decided that they had to live their lives hiding right here. But life underground was not easy. Every day the same food, muddy water to drink, and in their free time they played cards. Their connection with the outside world was completely cut off. After living here for many days, they were very fed up with this bunker. But what could they do? If they went up, their lives wouldn't be saved. This life made Jason's family feel like it was the end of the world. Zoe asked her father, "Papa, how long will we stay here?" Jason had no answer to this. He just told his daughter, "We will go out only when the virus outside is gone." He put his fingers on his daughter's eyes and made her imagine the outside world. In this way, days passed, and then months. They didn't know that in the wait to go out, more than 300 days had passed in this bunker. Zoe looked at the outside world through a periscope made by her mother. Outside, there was only a scene of devastation everywhere, as if the whole world had burned to ashes. There was no sign of any human there. Seeing all this, the little girl started feeling that perhaps they were the last surviving people in this world. Her mother comforted her, saying, "Don't think like that. Maybe your friends are also hiding somewhere like us." Now it was night and time for dinner. They had little food left, so the three of them were managing with a little food. But today, on Zoe's insistence, she was given a full can. When Zoe opened the tin can, she saw that the tin can was empty from the inside. There was a small hole at the back of this can. Perhaps something had stolen the food from it. Beth checked all the remaining cans and found that a full 12 cans were empty. Seeing this, they were very worried because this was their ration for 2 weeks. Beth looked towards the ventilation grill and guessed that maybe a rat had come inside and taken the food. Beth said that if it is a rat, it must be killed soon, otherwise it will destroy all our food. Seeing his daughter's sad face, Jason comforted her. "Don't worry about small things. Even if the food runs out, I will go up and bring some supplies." The next day, when Zoe was playing with blocks with her mother, suddenly a slight sound came from behind. When Zoe looked back, a rat had entered again to steal tin food. Before the rat could run away, Zoe immediately called her parents. Today they had to kill this rat at any cost. Jason angrily took out a knife and moved forward to cut it into pieces. But that little rat turned out to be very fast. It escaped while saving itself from Jason's attack and also knocked over the lantern kept on the table. Just as it was about to enter its hole, Beth suddenly pounced and killed the rat. They were all celebrating killing the rat when, on the other hand, the fire started growing slowly due to the fallen lantern. Jason ran to turn off the lantern, but the lantern was very hot, which burned Jason's hand, and when the lantern's glass broke, the whole table caught fire. Beth tried to extinguish the fire by tearing a curtain. Jason took out half a bucket of water from the tap and threw it on the fire. Somehow they extinguished the fire, but the danger was not averted yet. Rather, it was going to get even more difficult for them because although they had extinguished the fire, the smoke from the fire had filled the entire bunker with smoke, and that smoke was slowly coming out through the ventilation grill upwards. Seeing this, they all got scared because this smoke was revealing their location. Now everyone sat holding their breath. Jason said that maybe the darkness of the night would hide the smoke and no one would find out about our hideout. The three of them stayed awake all night in the shadow of fear. The next morning, when they peeked out through the periscope for their own satisfaction, the ground slipped from under their feet. They saw that a cloud of smoke had risen outside. Seeing this, their restlessness began to increase. They were fully convinced that the secret of their hideout had been revealed. Then Beth said that if smoke has risen, then ash must have also accumulated near it, and investigating that could reveal our hideout. That is why we have to clean the ash now. After which, the husband and wife decided to go out and clean. Before leaving, Jason told his daughter Zoe, "Zoe, promise me that no matter what sound you hear from outside or whatever happens, you just must not come out." After taking the promise from his daughter, they opened the door chain, listened carefully to the sounds outside, and when they were sure that no one was outside, they both opened the bunker door together and went out. Now their daughter was left alone inside. She was waiting for her parents. But even after waiting for a long time, when her parents did not return, she climbed on a stool and started looking at the situation outside through the telescope. Soon, she saw that her parents were trying to hide the bunker door. But just then, Zoe saw something that made her breath get stuck in her throat. She saw a black shadow rapidly moving towards them in the distant forest. The girl shouted loudly and told her father to look behind, but the distance was too great. Her parents couldn't hear. In panic, the girl forgot her fear and climbed the ladder and came out of the bunker. As soon as she came out, she realized that her parents were no longer there. The girl started calling out to her parents loudly in restlessness. Just then, someone suddenly covered her mouth from behind. This was none other than her mother. A few seconds later, a herd of wild deer passed by quickly. Although the three of them had a narrow escape, Beth's fear began to increase even more. These deer running like this was surely an attempt to escape from some dangerous thing. Everyone sensed the danger, and they ran back towards the bunker rapidly and entered inside. Jason closed the bunker door with wooden planks and tied it tightly with the iron chain and told everyone to remain completely silent. Just then, they heard the soft sound of footsteps from above. It felt as if someone was coming towards the bunker door. It roamed around over the bunker for several minutes continuously. The three of them slowly moved away from the bunker door towards the front, and perhaps whatever was above hadn't sensed yet that someone was in the bunker below. Scared, Zoe started crying. Beth silenced her and said that if the sound went outside, everything would be over. The three of them had moved quite far from the bunker door. They were moving away from the bunker door so that if someone opened the bunker door from above, they wouldn't be seen below. But just then, the string of the doll Zoe was holding in her hand got stuck in a screw. The screw slowly started loosening. Seeing this, Jason and Beth's breath got stuck because that string was connected to the voice switch inside the doll. Before they could do anything, the screw came out with a jerk, and at that very moment, sounds started coming rapidly from inside the doll. Jason immediately tore the doll apart and broke the speaker inside it. But it was too late now. The thing chasing them above had gotten a hint of them. Suddenly, a loud banging sound came from above, and then the echo of heavy footsteps stopped straight above the bunker door. It had finally found their hideout and started trying to open it. It was pushing the bunker lid forcefully, and despite being closed with chains, the danger was clearly felt, and the monster above knew that someone was definitely present below. Although the door was closed with strong chains, in front of that thing's terrible power, those chains started breaking one by one. Seeing this, Jason knew that the door wouldn't last much longer, so he ran inside fast and started ripping out the water pump pipe. Here, Beth also showed courage and climbed the ladder, using her body weight to pull the chain to try and keep the door closed. But still, the iron lid started opening slowly. Just then, a black shadow was seen above the door whose eyes were shining like a bulb, as if the death of those three was watching them from above. Jason attacked it with the pipe without thinking, causing it to fall back. Jason quickly jammed that pipe into the door to close it, and that thing ran away from there. But Jason's body was still trembling badly. He could never have imagined that in the outside world, there were not only ruthless soldiers, but also dangerous monsters roaming around. The whole family sat dejected near the stairs because now their hideout had been exposed. Now they could be attacked at any time. And they also realized that this time only one had come. But next time when they come, their numbers will be much higher, and we won't be able to do anything in front of them. A little later, suddenly the cupboard started shaking. Jason and Beth understood that it had called its other companions too. Loud footsteps began to be heard from above, as if thousands of creatures were running on their heads. Then they all gathered at the bunker door. Terrified, Jason, Beth, and Zoe were trembling below. Just then, they suddenly launched a massive attack. The power this time was much more than before. The strong iron door broke and fell down, and many shining eyes started appearing at the bunker door. Seeing this, they started running towards the back in fear. But those monsters were also coming after them. Beth threw her oil lamp and set fire to the curtain between them and herself. And by holding the cupboard, both blocked the path between them. They all started running towards the inside of the bunker quickly. But they knew that all this couldn't stop them for long. They had no way to escape now. Just then, the girl saw a ventilation opening towards the ground. Jason broke it with strength and pushed his wife and daughter outside with all his might. But when he tried to get out himself, he got stuck due to the narrow space. On the other side, the monsters were moving towards him. Now somehow Jason had to get out of here. He saw no other way, so he broke his shoulder bone, which made him scream in pain. But quickly, he composed himself and entered the ventilation. Beth, without wasting time, started pulling Jason out with full strength. Just as Jason was about to get out, a huge creature came and grabbed Jason's leg. Jason understood that his escape was now impossible. Now there was no hope of escaping. Jason looked into his wife's eyes and said, "Whatever happens, don't let anything happen to Zoe." And the very next moment, that monster pulled him into the bunker. But Jason, instead of being afraid of the monsters in the bunker, tells them, "Come, let's see how much power you have." When Beth and Zoe looked down, loud screaming sounds were coming from the bunker. Beth understood that her husband was fighting to give them time to escape. Even in pain, she took her daughter and left from there. Avoiding the monsters, they came quite far. But while running, they felt something strange. They saw that the highway which opened to the outside world now had a high wall standing there, meaning now no one could get out of this city. Just then, a helicopter came flying from a distance. When Beth looked back, it was an army helicopter. That helicopter came quickly to them and shone its bright spotlight on them. Just as these two were about to run from there, a large net fell on them from above, in which they both got trapped. Both of them started trying to free themselves from the net in every possible way, but the net had gripped both of them badly. Beth looked through the mesh of the net and saw some black shadows, with green eyes coming towards them. Just then, we found out the real secret of the story. These people holding guns with yellow eyes, whom we thought were monsters, were actually not aliens or people infected with a virus. But they were military soldiers wearing gas masks and night vision glasses. Those same eyes whose yellow shine showed them another world. But the question arises, why were the army people bent on taking their lives? You will find out this whole secret in the little remaining story ahead. Now, Beth and Zoe were both in the control of these soldiers. One of these soldiers took out a large injection and pricked both of their necks one by one. When their blood was tested, it was found that both of them were also infected with the poisonous virus, which meant that both of them were a threat to this Earth, meaning now they would be killed. Actually, when the virus first spread, many people in this small town had come under its grip. This virus spread through the air, and this virus would infect one human from another very quickly. The infected people didn't even know themselves that they were sick, and the government had no antidote to stop this virus. The government had no other way but to kill the infected people. Beth cries and says, "Please let my child go." When Beth saw that these soldiers were not going to spare her little daughter either, she got completely angry. Black marks started appearing on her face. But before she could do anything, a fountain of blood burst from a soldier's neck. That was none other than Jason, who had returned from death. Actually, Jason didn't die in the bunker, but losing control over himself there, he killed all the soldiers. At that time, he was very angry. Black marks on his face and eyes red with anger, and the strength of his body had increased many times, and it was clearly visible that he was no longer the former Jason, but appeared in a different form. He started pouncing on the soldiers and killing them, but he couldn't stop the bullets from the hot weapons and fell to the ground. When those soldiers moved towards Beth and Zoe, both of them had broken the net and run away. The soldiers started looking for them here and there. Her daughter, hiding in the dark, saw all this. Seeing the condition of her parents, she also got angry and lost her temper. In one jump, she knocked down a soldier, broke his mask, and was about to kill him when Beth stopped her in time. She didn't want her daughter to become a beast, too. Beth calmed her down. Slowly, the greenery in the girl's veins disappeared, and she turned back into a human. But the soldier's luck wasn't so good. His safety mask had broken, and he slowly got infected by the virus. On the other hand, Jason's condition was very critical. Looking at his daughter's face, he ran 2 fingers of his hand over her eyes, and Jason closed his eyes forever. At that very moment, another helicopter arrived. Beth ran, taking her daughter. Passing through a heap of junk, they entered a tunnel. Just then, a light fell on their eyes there. Upon looking, it turned out that in front was the same small boy from the neighborhood, whom we saw at the beginning of the story. Then both of them followed him. That boy took them to a cave-like tunnel where that boy's parents and many other people were hiding. Actually, there were people infected with the virus just like them there. To stay alive, they all were forced to live a rat-like life in the dark. This virus was dangerous, but not fatal. This virus would exert more force on the infected persons,